Chicago Bears training camp practice number 8. No pads today. It was a slow practice. Nothing was really at full speed, and it seemed more like a walkthrough than a real practice. First thing I want to talk about is an injury update. The Bears had probably the most players miss practice today of any day in camp. 6 guys were out, led by Nate Davis, Kyler Gordon, Travis Homer, Ian Wheeler, Nasimba Webster, and Jacob Martin. Not having Nate Davis is the biggest story there. His absence has played out exactly how I expected. Coleman Shelton got the reps at center with the first team, and Ryan Bates took Nate Davis's spot at right guard. It's the main reason I think Coleman Shelton should be the starting center, and he's now gotten 3 straight practices with the first team offense, and that's just letting him get more and more comfortable with Caleb Williams. The interior of this offensive line is my biggest concern, and I think the sooner we name Coleman Shelton the starting center, probably the better. However, the coaching staff was asked by the press if Nate Davis's starting job was up for competition, and they confirmed that Nate Davis is the starting right guard as long as he's healthy. But Matt Eberflus did add that Matt Eberflus talked about how important being available is, so maybe he was calling Nate Davis out. More on the offensive line in a minute, but another thing that caught my eye was both Travis Homer and Ian Wheeler missed practice. This is the first I'd heard of either guy being banged up, but it might explain why we signed a running back last night. If you missed it, I did a video breaking down everything you need to know about Bears' new running back, Demetric Felton. Check that out if you missed it, but another intriguing update here. With Kyler Gordon still out of practice, it was Reddy Steward stepping in with the first team today. He's the undrafted free agent corner. This definitely caught my attention as Greg Stroman Jr. has been our backup nickel, but Steward was ahead of him today. The offense did struggle during the 2-minute drill, but they bounced back during team periods. It was another back and forth practice, but again, there was no pads and they were not practicing at full speed today. It was more of a walkthrough type of pace. Even in the 2-minute drill when the offense couldn't get it going though, Torrey Taylor would pin a punt inside the 5-yard line to make up for it, something I hope to see this season in actual games. As far as our rookie quarterback goes though, Caleb Williams threw 2 touchdowns to start out the 11-on-11 period, connecting with both Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen for scores. Caleb's throw to Odunze was called the play of the day by most guys in the media. The offense wasn't perfect, but Caleb continues delivering multiple highlight type of throws. After practice, he even talked about his progress in this offense and how excited he is for the season to get going. He mentioned they are almost finished with installs, but Eberflus is going to announce tomorrow if the starters play on Thursday night. Caleb did say himself that preseason reps are really important, and he called them paramount for his development. At first, it sounded like he really wants to play Thursday night in the Hall of Fame game, but when he was asked directly if he wants to play Thursday night, he seemed to hesitate and said, "I don't know." For what it's worth, I don't think he plays Thursday night. I think it's just a bit too early. We've only had 1 week of training camp, and our offensive line hasn't had much time to gel yet. Nate Davis is out, and we still don't know who our starting center is. I still believe the plan is going to be to get him between 45 and 60 snaps this preseason, the same amount of reps that the rookie quarterbacks got last year, talking about Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. But remember, every other team in the NFL, except the Texans and Bears, only played 3 preseason games now. This 4th game is an extra game, and the coaches might feel it's smarter to give Caleb Williams and the starters 1 more week of practice before giving Caleb his first exposure to live NFL defenses. We will find out tomorrow though, so no reason to speculate further. C-Dub also talked about how comfortable he is with some of the plays in Shane Waldron's offense and the similarity in some of these plays between what he ran in college under Lincoln Riley. It's not the same system by any means, but there are similar concepts and plays. He also just seems to really like working in Shane Waldron's offense. So for me, there's no reason to have anything but optimism for Caleb Williams' future and the Chicago Bears offense right now. You won't ever find me overreacting about a less than full speed practice from a rookie quarterback, especially in shorts without pads. I didn't do it for Justin Fields, Mitch Trubisky, or Rex Grossman, and those guys weren't even as talented as Caleb is. Caleb himself is happy with his progress, and he holds himself to higher standards than most of us do. I expect him to be the best quarterback in Bears history, but there will be growing pains and ups and downs here with his progress. But I truly, honestly believe things are going to be different this time, and there's definitely no reason to overreact about practice. We're talking about practice, guys. There's just so much reason for excitement with this entire offense. I just won't be overreacting if they struggle against our defense. But let's get to the trenches update. There wasn't a single false start today. That's reason for celebration, guys. Not normally something I'd be celebrating, but it is a step in the right direction. Braxton Jones' development is something I'm going to be watching all season long, but it seems like everyone in the media is more focused on whether or not the Bears are going to be trading for left tackle Tristan Wirfs, even including Braxton Jones and some draft picks and some trade ideas. As far as I know, guys, Tristan Wirfs is not being traded. They are negotiating a new deal. They aren't close on a new deal yet, but that doesn't mean they're trading him. It doesn't seem like they're taking calls for him, but all reports do indicate they're still negotiating. So I'm not going to be making a video on those trade rumors. Just know I believe Braxton Jones is our starting left tackle, and I'm really high on the guy. But we also have Darnell Wright, who could be a stud right tackle, and I'm really high on the future of Karan Omegaji as well. My concern is on the interior of our offensive line, where Nate Davis is becoming a bigger concern every day. I feel like we're going to be talking about him all camp. Fans seem tired of him already. Stay tuned. Let's move on to the defense, where both Montez Sweat and Gervon Dexter continue having great camps. Sweat continues collecting what would be sacks in every practice, and on top of that, he didn't contact Caleb Williams today. But if you missed my 53-man roster projection I did earlier today, Reddy Steward might actually be impressing so much that I have an update on that video. After intercepting Caleb Williams a few days ago, he now seems to be battling Greg Stroman for the backup nickel job and a spot on this roster, and today he was ahead of Stroman in the pecking order. Stewart got reps with the first team with Kyler Gordon out of practice today, and seeing the rookie, who was one of my favorite UDFA signings, get first team reps is a nice development and something to watch going forward. It's important to remember, though, that today's practice was very light, and there's not much to take away from it, and definitely no reason to overreact about anything. The pads were not on. Hopefully tomorrow will be another padded practice. We will also find out from Eberflus tomorrow if the starters are going to be playing in the preseason. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate everyone who watches. Remember to hit that like button for me, guys. And until next time, bear down. Da Bears.
The Bears.